Coming up on this episode of Everyone Has a Voice.
I love hot dogs.
I know.
I still eat hot dogs. Confession.
No, but it's like...
Silenced by her own sin over a decade ago, she believes in giving everyone a voice. She's an author, speaker, mentor, and voice for the underdog. Be inspired by radical stories of change that prove you could be one different choice away from a better tomorrow. Welcome to the show that proves them wrong. This is Everyone Has a Voice with Christy Neal, brought to you by Choose Different Ministries.
Everyone is looking for a better tomorrow, but very few want to put the hard work in. This is the show that tells stories to inspire and motivate you to make the changes that result in a better tomorrow. Welcome. I am so stoked and excited to have my very own Kick My Booty personal trainer here with me, Angel Scott. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Miss Christy. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited you're here. Her official title is she is a fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle coach, and she is the best that I have found. So you're a holistic lifestyle coach. How is that different from a typical personal trainer?
A typical personal trainer really deals with exercise and doesn't typically have the licensure to be able to promote nutrition and other aspects of lifestyle. So as a holistic lifestyle coach, I deal with, yes, fitness and exercise and weight loss and all of those great things, but I also deal with nutrition and things like stress management that people don't think about.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that really impacts our health. So really dealing with the other aspects of total wellness that go beyond just exercise.
Yeah, all the pieces.
All of the pieces.
Because everyone wants the magic pill that's just going to make them lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks.
Yes, and I think it's really tempting to kind of fall prey to that because who doesn't want quick results, right?
Yes.
We all want quick results.
Yes.
But, what I found over the years is that those quick results typically have a negative impact on our health. And so I am focused on total health, not just today, not just after the 10 pounds. It's like 10 years from now. How does your body feel? How does it function? How is it able to deal with illness and, be resilient into our 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and even 100s these days,
awesome.
right?
Yes, because there's a 60-year-old living in me somewhere that's counting on the 40-year-old me to make good choices.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What compelled you to become a holistic lifestyle coach?
Early on in my fitness career, I found that, it was really great to spend an hour with people and kind of kick their butts and give them a great workout, but also realizing that it was their lives, the 23 hours a day that I wasn't seeing them that really had more of an impact on their overall results.
Yes.
So I really was compelled to kind of dive in and see how I could impact those other 23 hours of the day that they were dealing with, whether it be the fact that their kids kept them up all night or that they were dealing with, a super high-powered, stressful job that they had to deal with every day. So again, just really wanting to help people in the other aspects of their lives outside of that hour or two that I may have seen them in the gym.
I love that. And bringing awareness. So many people just aren't aware.
Absolutely.
How damaging the stressors of everyday life can be. And even producer Jimmy and I were talking about the margin of time that you leave yourself. Getting places, for instance.
Yeah.
That's an area that you can be in control of and cut back on stress if you give yourself enough time to get there. So if you're just joining us, we are talking with Angel Scott, fitness, nutrition, and holistic lifestyle coach. She is phenomenal. I have worked with her now, I think, about 6 months, and she has completely changed the way that I look at exercise, the way I look at my nutrition, my self-awareness, my sleep. And so I'm so excited to have her on. Healthy eating or working out, which do you think is more important, Angel?
It's so funny that you should even ask that, Christy.
Please say it's not eating. Please say it's not eating.
Well, it's funny because I think that we're so wrapped up in either food or exercise, right? Like it's either one or the other. And it's either 200% in one direction and zero the other or vice versa. But they're equally as important. And it's not just about healthy eating and exercise, right? It's about the quality of sleep or rest that we're getting. Yeah. It's about hydration and water that I know a lot of people don't want to hear about because they might.
There's some interruption coming. I couldn't hear you. Must be some static over the line.
in the South, sweet tea does not count as water consumption.
But I love sweet tea. We were raised on that. It was just in the refrigerator.
Yes.
That's what's so difficult for me is I'm used to having a taste with my drink, with my meal. So drinking water with my meal is so boring. But I'm working on it.
Yes.
I'm working on it.
Yes. But it's actually, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think a lot of challenges that people have is going from like how they were raised, right? So you were raised on sweet tea. That's what you know. That's what you like. But we also now know the impact that caffeine has on our adrenal system and what that does to our total health, right?
Yeah.
So I was also raised on hot dogs, but I would never eat a hot dog today, right?
I love hot dogs.
I know.
I still eat hot dogs. Confession.
No, but it's like I understand that we were raised a certain way and what we knew about the food that we were eating then versus what we know now, right?
Yes.
Like we know that a lot of food that we were eating and that some people continue to eat.
Some people out there.
But we know that it causes cancer and it's making us sick, right? So you know better, you do better. And it's a gradual process. Nobody is going to go from eating a typical Southern diet, I'll say, for example, to 200% vegan overnight. But it's about gradually gravitating toward a lifestyle. So eating style,
gently,
movement style that's going to help your body just become healthier.
Yeah, gentle transition.
Absolutely.
I know one thing for me that I've discovered is just how much comfort I find in food. And trying to transition away from that.
Well, because there's a huge emotional aspect to food, right? Yeah. Like when we're celebrating, we go out to eat.
Yes.
Or we're going to sit down and watch our favorite movie, we eat. Right? So there's a huge emotional connection to food.
It's so interesting. And I found I was even a little depressed when I started cutting out sugar, for instance, because I would look forward to those sugary snacks.
Yes.
And I was like, but now I don't have anything to look forward to. And I remember you challenged me on that. And you're like, life is your, and it's helped me so much be aware when I'm emotionally eating, which a lot of us do.
Yeah.
Have you encountered any personal weight or health struggles yourself?
So from a weight perspective, not so much. I mean, I've always been active. I was like that kid that was bouncing off the walls, doing cartwheels down the street on the way to school. So weight, not so much. But I have had a few health struggles, actually.
Okay.
And nearly 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid-related autoimmune disease called Graves' disease. And so that has been a really interesting journey. I always considered myself generally healthy. Anything I did kind of encounter, I was able to bounce back from. But this has really been a humbling and really actually empowering journey so far.
Oh, I like that, empowering.
Yes. So for those of you that don't know, with Graves' disease specifically, so it'll impact everything from your hair. Like before I was diagnosed and started treatment, my hair was falling out and my heart was literally racing out of my chest. I was losing weight, but not at a rate that was alarming to me.
Okay.
But I did lose some weight, and weight loss is a typical symptom for a hyperactive thyroid. I did have some anxiousness and even impatience, I would call it.
Wow.
In terms of physical symptoms. But, there's a lot of emotional stuff that goes along with any chronic illness that people don't realize. For me, once I was formally diagnosed and started treatment, I've actually used a combination of traditional medicine and naturopathic medicine. That's been the approach that's worked best for me. Even when I was diagnosed, my naturopath told me that if I was not as healthy as I was, typically by now, someone with my thyroid levels would have dropped dead of a heart attack or stroke.
Are you kidding me? And how old were you, if you don't mind me asking, at that time?
40.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
And your thyroid controls so much. We don't even think about it because it's so little.
Yeah.
But it controls so much.
Everything from your metabolism to your heart rate.
Wow.
Every system in your body is in some way impacted by your thyroid.
Okay, so you said something that really struck me. You said you had some nervousness, a little bit of anxiousness. And I know there may be people listening that they're experiencing that and they think they're having anxiety and they might run to their doctor and get some anxiety or depression meds. So can you share with us what are some flags, some red flags that if people are noticing that in their system, that they might want to go and get checked, their thyroid get checked?
Absolutely. So I think some of the biggest things that I ignored with my own symptoms and with my body were things like sensitivity to heat, right? So you have to keep in mind, so there's hypothyroidism, which is like a low thyroid function, and then hyper, which is an overactive. And so depending on where your numbers are, what you're experiencing, you may find yourself feeling, for example, really, really cold, or you may find yourself feeling really, really hot.
Interesting.
So things like, kind of paying attention to how your body responds to temperature. That's one thing. Issues with sleep. So if you're not sleeping well, or if you're exhausted all of the time, again, those can be indicators. Things with hair. Hair is really big. So ladies, if you notice that your hair is coming out in clumps and handfuls.
Yeah, that is not normal.
That's not normal. Your body is trying to tell you something. It's not just, that over-processed color that you put in your hair.
And I believe it's you that's told me before, your body will whisper.
Absolutely.
Your body will talk to you. And then eventually, if you're not listening, it'll start yelling at you.
Yes. So all of these little subtle things that I think especially as women, we're busy and we're taking care of everyone but ourselves.
Yes.
And so we're really quick to dismiss the little whispers that our body sends us.
That's right.
So I think it's really important to just really pay attention. Things like even changes in your bathroom habits, or if you're constipated versus if you're finding that you're using the bathroom more regularly or have, chronic or consistent diarrhea. Like these are all symptoms that something is going on in your body.
Something is wrong.
Yeah.
And for all the ladies listening, we are so bad, like Angel mentioned, about taking care of everyone else first. And that was the start of my bad choices. So not only can it affect your health, but it can affect your emotional well-being and your decision-making. If your well is dry, you can't be a good mother. You can't be a good wife, whether that be physically, emotionally, mentally. So we are encouraging you and inspiring you. If you have any of these red flags, if something is off in your system, whether that be physically, emotionally, mentally, please, this is your nudge from the Lord to go get it checked out.
Absolutely.
Get it checked out. Don't put it off.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with asking your doctor. You are experiencing your body. Nobody knows your body like you do. So even if you go to your doctor and you're expressing that you're having these symptoms, and maybe you have a doctor that isn't necessarily the best at listening to you, then you find someone who will.
That's right.
It's your job to listen to your body and to do what you can to maintain your own wellness.
And be a voice for your own wellness.
Absolutely.
I've had doctors I've had to dismiss that I didn't feel were truly listening to me, and I knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
I went in for a certain situation, and the procedure wasn't covered by insurance. They wanted to charge me $8,000, had to do with my veins in my legs. And I told my husband, you know what? I'm going to try to lose weight and start exercising first.
Yep.
And maybe this pain in my legs will go away. Guess what? It's gone away.
Yeah.
And I would have never met Angel had I not sought out a different avenue.
Yeah. And even myself, with my thyroid illness, the first endocrinologist that I had from day one, he was encouraging me to get rid of my thyroid. And from day one, he's like, yep, you can go ahead and we can have this removed. And I will tell you so I went to that doctor every month for an entire year. And at every single appointment, he reminded me that I could always just get rid of my thyroid. But I was fiercely determined not to do that. And I'm so glad that I did, because I've been able to progressively improve my thyroid health with, and reduce my need for medication and all of that. My theory was that if I get rid of my thyroid, I absolutely positively will need medication for the rest of my life.
Yes.
And I really wanted to give my body an opportunity to heal itself. And I just want people to know that with the right combination of food, nutrition, and lifestyle management, you can have an impact on your health. You can have a say. Your body is more resilient than you realize. It has an impeccable ability to heal itself if you help it.
It's so good. I love that.
Yes. Yeah. And that's really one of the reasons why I created my 7-day simplified reset, was through this journey of dealing with my own struggle with Graves' disease. I really created this program for myself initially. I obviously tried it and it worked well. And then I did a test group of 75 women and they were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so then I decided to offer it to the public. And it's basically a digital lifestyle guide that includes a 7-day nutrition plan with some workouts that you can literally do in the comfort of your living room without a lot of equipment. And then it has a mindfulness piece that I think is super important for people to kind of pause and get back to themselves and gratitude. And again, dealing with those things that I talked about in terms of overall wellness that we tend to ignore. And it's been a huge success. Like, women love it. They're losing weight. They're feeling better than ever. They're reducing inflammation in their bodies. I'm super excited about it.
I have to say, I took the challenge.
Reluctantly.
Yeah, reluctantly. I was so skeptical. I was like, wait, I can't have caffeine for 7 days. I can have gluten. You want me to eat vegetables? I was like, wait. But I took the challenge because I was curious. I was curious to see how I would feel if I ate clean for 7 days straight, something I had never done. And I have to say it was very challenging, but it was so worth it. And I'm doing it again. I believe I lost 5 pounds in 7 days.
Yeah.
But I felt so clear and I felt light. In my mind, I felt more mental focus. Yeah. And I started eating more vegetarian and finding foods that I liked. I couldn't believe it. The little Sunflower Cafe here in Nashville, I found that place. And I have to say, big 2 thumbs up. I'm going to do it again.
Yes.
Coming up soon. I'm super excited. So I want to encourage anyone out there, if you've always wondered, how would I feel if I ate clean? Where do I start? Because most of us here in the South especially, we don't know how to cook healthy. We cook with butter and sour cream, and we love it, and sugar. So I challenge you to take Angel's 7-day reset and learn how to fix healthy things. Tell us a little bit more about how people can find you and follow you.
Yes. So if you are a social butterfly and you're on social media, you can find me on Instagram at Simply Fit Angel. If you are on Facebook, you can find me at Simply Defined Fitness. And you can always visit my website at www.simplydefinedfitness.com. And you can find all the info about what I do and my clients and my programs on my website.
And she's amazing. And I call her buffness. She's not going to tell you that, but the girl is buff. So takeaways, Angel, from today. Again, we're talking with Angel Scott, fitness, nutrition, and holistic lifestyle coach. Just tell us 3 takeaways that you want people to remember from the show, and we'll wrap it up.
Absolutely. So the 3 things that I really would love people to focus on is the fact that, the scale doesn't tell the full picture. I think that we're so wrapped up in weight that we forget about health. Look at the other aspects of your life in terms of indicators of how well you feel and how your body is actually feeling. Secondly, I think that there's power in nutrition. So people, you have to remember that it's great if you think you're eating healthy overall, but there's always a little room for improvement. And, real food and intentional exercise has the ability to heal our bodies physically and mentally. So I think that that's really important. Yes. And then lastly, Christy, you mentioned it. I say this all the time, mostly because I lived it, but our body usually whispers before it yells at us. So our body is constantly communicating with us, and it's our job to listen and to really make the mind-body connection.
Yes, exactly. So good. Thank you so much, Angel, for being on.
Thanks for having me.
I encourage everyone to follow her. She is so motivating and so inspiring. And thank you for joining us today. You, too, can be one different choice away from a better tomorrow.
Need more Christy in your life? Watch her weekly Transparent Tuesday videos by visiting ChooseDifferent.org. Thanks for listening, and join us next time for Everyone Has a Voice with Christy Neal, brought to you by Choose Different Ministries.